Hey there, pizza people and horror hounds. Got to give a shout out to our sponsor tonight. They help you kick those bad habits, which is good, because I got a few. Tonight's story takes us back to the days before GPS ruled the world, back when delivering a pizza meant wrestling a paper map and hoping for the best. See, back in the day I delivered pizzas. Yeah, the guy who played Hopper, slinging pepperoni and extra cheese, navigating those mean streets with nothing but a paper address and a prayer. Little did I know this one delivery would turn into a real-life horror show. It was a night like any other, rain lashing down like tears on a widow's face. The kind of night that makes you want to crawl under the covers and hide from the world. I got a delivery slip scrawled in what looked like crayon for some place called Blackwood Lane. Never heard of it, but hey, new adventure, right? Wrong. This was no ordinary street. It was a dirt track that snaked its way into the heart of darkness, swallowed by trees that looked like they'd seen some things. The further I drove, the more I felt this chill, and it wasn't just the rain seeping into my bones. The streetlights disappeared, leaving me alone with the whispering trees and the feeling that I was being watched. I pulled out my trusty map, the paper damp and limp like a drowned rat. Blackwood Lane, Blackwood Lane. Where the hell was it? The more I searched, the more I realized this street wasn't on the map. Great, just great. Lost in the middle of nowhere, with a car full of cooling pizza and a growing sense of dread. You know those moments when you just want to scream into the void? Yeah, that was me. I reached for my pack of cigarettes. Hey, nobody's perfect, right? But then I remembered sponsor shout-out time. These guys, they get it. They know life throws you curveballs, or in my case, creepy backroads and missing addresses. They're all about helping you ditch those bad habits, find your zen, you know. And let me tell you, their app, it's like a lifeline. Helps you track your progress, stay motivated, all that jazz. If you're struggling with something, anything, check them out. Tell them Hawkins' Finest sent you. But hey, enough about them, back to the story. So there I was, lost and starting to freak out just a little bit. This was before cell phones were glued to everyone's hands, so no calling for help. Just me, my trusty map, which was about as useful as a chocolate teapot, and the creeping feeling that I was in way over my head. The rain was really coming down now, blurring the world outside into an impressionist painting from hell. I flipped through the map again, my frustration mounting. Why the hell didn't I memorize every street in this godforsaken town? Then it hit me. The old gas station at the crossroads. It was a long shot, but maybe, just maybe, they had a more detailed map, one that included the mysterious Blackwood Lane. With a renewed sense of purpose, I fired up the engine and lurched back the way I came, the headlights cutting through the darkness like desperate pleas for help. The drive back to the crossroads felt even longer than the journey in. Every shadow seemed to hold a threat. Every rustle of leaves sounded like footsteps. The road was a treacherous ribbon, winding through the woods like a drunken snake. I gripped the steering wheel, knuckles white, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. The rain seemed to be mocking me, drumming a relentless beat on the roof of the car. I thought about turning back, about saying screw this and tossing the pizza in the nearest ditch. But something kept me going, some stubborn streak that refused to let fear win. Maybe it was the promise of a decent tip, or maybe it was just the challenge of conquering this road, of proving to myself that I wasn't afraid of the dark. Whatever it was, I pressed on, the headlights my only companions in the vast emptiness. After what felt like an eternity, the trees finally thinned, and I emerged from the darkness, blinking in the sudden light. There it was, the gas station, a beacon of civilization in a sea of shadows. I pulled up to the pumps, my body buzzing with relief. I grabbed the delivery slip and scanned it again. House number 13, Blackwood Lane. Easy enough, right? Wrong. There were no house numbers, just a scattering of mailboxes clustered together like gossiping neighbours. I approached cautiously, my hand hovering over the pepper spray in my pocket. The names on the mailboxes were faded, barely visible in the dim light. I squinted, trying to decipher the scrawled handwriting, and then I saw it. Blackwood, scrawled in the same childish hand as the delivery slip. My heart pounded in my chest, a drumbeat of apprehension. I took a deep breath and reached for the doorbell. It hung loose, dangling by a thread like a rotten tooth. I rapped my knuckles against the wood instead, the sound echoing through the silence. No answer. I knocked again, louder this time. Still nothing. I was about to turn and leave to write this delivery off as a bad job when I heard it, a voice, raspy and low, coming from inside the house. "Who is it?" The voice sent shivers down my spine. It sounded ancient, like it hadn't been used in decades. "Pizza delivery," I called back, my voice cracking slightly. "Got a large pepperoni with extra cheese?" Silence. I waited, holding my breath, my fingers itching to grab the pepper spray. Just when I was about to give up, I heard the sound of heavy footsteps approaching the door. The door creaked open slowly, revealing a sliver of darkness. I held my breath, peering into the gloom. The air inside was thick with the smell of mildew and something else, something cloying and sweet like overripe fruit. "Hello?" I called out, my voice echoing in the stillness. The only response was the sound of my own breathing. The darkness seemed to press in on me, suffocating. I fumbled for the light switch, my fingers brushing against something cold and slimy. I recoiled instinctively, my heart racing. Finally, my fingers found the switch, and the room flickered to life. The single bulb cast a sickly yellow glow, revealing a scene that sent a fresh wave of unease washing over me. The room was sparsely furnished, with heavy velvet curtains drawn tight against the night. Dust motes danced in the stale air, illuminated by the weak light. The smell hit me again, stronger this time. It was nauseating, a mixture of decay and something sickly sweet, like overripe fruit left to rot in the sun. I fought the urge to gag, my stomach churning. What was that smell? I glanced around the room, my eyes scanning for the source of the stench. Cobwebs clung to every corner, and the furniture was draped in dusty sheets, as if it hadn't been touched in years. The air was heavy with a sense of neglect, of secrets hidden beneath layers of dust and time. I took another step into the room, my shoes sinking into the plush carpet. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the sound of my own breathing and the steady drip of water from somewhere deep within the house. "Where was the owner?" I called out again, my voice echoing in the stillness. "Pizza delivery! Anyone home?" The only response was the echo of my own voice. I hesitated, torn between curiosity and a growing sense of unease. Part of me wanted to just leave the pizza on the doorstep and get the hell out of there. But another part of me, the part that always got me into trouble, wanted to see this through. I mean, what was the worst that could happen? I took a deep breath and ventured further into the house, my hand hovering over the pepper spray in my pocket. The hallway was dark, lit only by the dim glow from the living room. The air grew colder as I moved deeper into the house, and the smell intensified, making my eyes water. I passed a series of closed doors, each one a mystery waiting to be unlocked. At the end of the hallway, I could see a faint light flickering beneath a door. As I approached the light, I heard a soft humming sound, like someone was chanting softly to themselves. I reached for the doorknob, my hand trembling slightly. It was cold to the touch, and I felt a jolt of fear shoot up my arm. Taking a deep breath, I pushed the door open slowly. The room was small and cramped, filled with stacks of books and strange-looking artifacts. The humming sound was louder in here, and I realized it was coming from a figure huddled in the corner. The figure was shrouded in shadow, but I could see a shock of white hair and a pair of piercing blue eyes that seemed to glow in the darkness. Before I could speak, the figure looked up, and a wide, toothless grin spread across their face. "You've come," the figure rasped, their voice like dry leaves rustling in the wind. I took a step back, my foot catching on something on the floor. I looked down and saw with a jolt that I was standing on a trapdoor, its edges rotting and decayed. The floor groaned beneath my weight, and the trapdoor creaked ominously. The figure in the corner chuckled, a low, guttural sound that sent chills racing down my spine. I froze, my blood turning to ice. What was down there? And who was this creepy figure? Guess you'll have to wait for the next chapter to find out. Thanks for joining me on this wild ride tonight. If you enjoyed the chills and spills, hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the dark side. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, sleep tight and don't let the pizza guy bite.